Okay, so hello everybody. Today it took me no time to set up the microphone at all, so it should be working properly. If I do watch this video afterwards and there is no audio, I'm going to be angry as hell, just because today I do have a meeting in 25 minutes, so I just gotta go ahead and start in with the video and just so I can make my call. Okay, so the big thing that I really want to talk about today was just, does money make you happy? And I think now that, I've been making a little bit more money than I have recently, decent at times more, I kind of have a little bit of a different perspective of this. I think when I first started out, I remember reading a study about if you make over $75,000 a year, the amount of happiness you get doesn't actually increase that much. And then I listened to a podcast by Planet Money. If you guys never heard of it, great podcast if you're an e-com nerd, I guess. And the whole point of that podcast is essentially showing that, 75,000 at that time was about the range in which you don't really experience that much more happiness. However, with inflation, it's about 100,000 now. So instead of saying, if I make 75, I'm happy, it's now more like 100,000. And it did kind of mention that there are some types of people who do experience more happiness with money, and there are some people who, when they do have more money, they don't really experience any type of improvement. And so I just kind of want to talk a little bit about what I've experienced myself and just kind of the three main parts of what really does happen when you make more money. And so I think beforehand I was kind of more thinking that, once you make money, everything is good. Maybe you do buy happiness with money. I can now tell you, now that I'm on the other side, it doesn't. So if you're an unhappy person and you thought that maybe if you just made more money you would instantly become happy, I am sorry to say, but that's not really the case. The three main things I'd really say that really has changed since we started making more money is in terms of security, in terms of flexibility, and in terms of the type of food you get to eat. And so just obviously in terms of security, obviously it's going to make a difference, right? Because if your rent is, $1,500 a month, but you're starting, and you're bringing in $3,000 or $4,000 a month, it's almost 50% that you're spending just solely on rent, right? And I'm not sure how it is in the area that you're watching from, but right now I'm in the GTA, the Toronto area, and god damn it, this place is expensive as hell. And so, yeah, so if you were to make, you're spending $1,500 on rent, but now instead of $4,000, you're making $10,000 a month. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot more security in the sense that one single month, now you're able to pay for 2 or 3 months of rent rather than, only being able to pay for half of, half your entire money you'd make in that entire month would just pay for rent. And so that's one main thing that I would mention, is that what you can look forward to once you make it is that you do feel a lot more secure. And it does kind of affect the way you speak a little bit, just because I feel less nervous these days, just because I know, if anything happens, I can get it, right? Like if someone were to hit my car, I have insurance, it's not a big deal, I can get it. If my wife, God forbid, gets hit by a car and needs to go to the hospital or something like that, I'm not worried about that either. I can cover it. And so I think that is, if you are to consider, does it make you happy? Security does give you a little bit more happiness, I will say. It does make me feel better in the sense that, I feel more prepared for things. And so I wouldn't say feeling prepared necessarily is happiness, but it does contribute towards it into a sense. The next part I would mention about what happens once you do get money is you do feel a lot more flexibility. And so this goes into a lot of different things. You just feel a lot more flexibility in terms of, the potential options, in terms of where you want to go career-wise. It feels more open in that sense of things. Because you're having more money, you're able to invest in more of your hobbies. And so, for example, if I'm interested in, I don't know, new AI tools or something like that. I'm always curious about trying the new language models. And so for me, if I see there's a new AI platform that's coming out and it seems pretty interesting, it's pretty novel, I haven't seen it done before, and I see it takes about $15 to $20, just for the month to try it, I'll try it, right? There's no problem. For example, this is completely ridiculous, but I had made an AI generated song based off my friend's resume, and me and another friend of mine were, interested in seeing like how far has the AI video generation field came. And so we went to trying to think of the name right now. It's like Road something. But basically, it's just like a AI video generator website, and we saw that it would take about $20-$30 to be able to get the amount of credits we need to make that music video, and so we did. It's okay, right? Like maybe back then when I was first coming out of school, maybe $20-$30, maybe a little bit too much for me to spend. But I would say that once you start making a little bit more income, you just have a lot more flexibility in the sense that like, if it's just $15, $20, $30 for you to, upskill yourself, actually have real time to play with these new technologies, learn something about it, and then now that you've got to be able to play with it and learn with it, now you're able to kind of think about how can this be applied elsewhere, right? And so for me, like the $20-$30, it was really just like a small fee to get up to date with what's the latest and greatest in AI technology. And so I'm being a complete nerd about this shit, but like for example, for you, if you're interested in, I don't know, rock climbing or something like that, and maybe back in the day you would look at the climbing gyms and you'd see that it's like $50, $60, $70 for a single time. Like maybe that's a little bit too much, right? Like, and I can understand that. But if you are starting to make some pretty good money, you're starting to feel secure in terms of like if something happens to you, you're going to be okay. You're starting to have the options to be able to start to explore your personality more. And so it's kind of like how people say, when you get power, you turn evil, right? But I don't think so. I think really what happens when you get power, when you get money, is it more multiplies your personality already. So if you're already kind of like a dude interested in learning new skills, and if you have more money, now you can just put more money into learning new skills. So it's a win-win. So honestly, like I just feel the flexibility has been so freeing for me, just because like I've always been a person who just wants to try everything. I want to learn new skills. I want to get courses. I want to be able to try new tools. I wish I was a little bit more sportier. If you're a person watching right now and you're like, oh, that rock climbing idea sounded really good. I don't rock climb. You should though. If I have the opportunity. I'm just so ungodly lazy. I really should take some time to do some rock climbing though. That's something I've always been wanting to do. And the reason I brought it up is because when I first left university, that was something I wanted to do, but because of how much it costs, I wasn't really able to start doing that as a hobby. But now that I have the flexibility, I really have the option to. I really should. Maybe that'll be a video I record one day. And the last benefit of once you start making money is your food. Your food is gonna be better, or at least that is for my case. My mom used to always tell me, like when I was a kid, like if you don't study hard, you're not gonna be able to eat good food. And strangely, that was one of the key motivators in my life, was realizing that, oh man, like I do really like good food, and if I do want to be able to eat this, post leaving my parents' house, I'm gonna have to make some money. And so really that's kind of the gist of this video. Was there's really three main benefits that I felt in my personal life in terms of how does your life change once you start making money. It's essentially, I don't know if the wind is fucking up the microphone, hopefully it's not, but the main thing for me has been security. I feel more comfortable just with my finances, just in terms of like if anything happens, we're good. In terms of opportunities, in terms of what type of things that you're able to do is now expanded. So all the stuff that you wanted to do back when you were a kid, but maybe you couldn't afford it, now it's available to you. And lastly, you get to eat good food, which strangely is one of my main motivators. So, I mean, that's a great benefit. So that's kind of what I would say is really the big difference between my life now and my life back then. Am I more happier? I mean, at some point, security does play a point in happiness. Variety does play a point in happiness. And of course, eating good food should make you happy. So I would say that maybe I'm a little bit happier. um, I'm a little bit happier, but just not in the way that you'd feel like fulfilled. I think this type of happiness versus fulfilled happiness is a different type of happiness. And so I'm feeling better on the day to day. So the way I would say it is in terms of my happiness chart. In terms of the tip, I'm about the same. I experience awesome happiness about the same as I did 2 or 3 years ago. I would just say that in terms of the bottom, in terms of how bad I can feel, it's risen over the past couple of years. I would say that back then, I could really get into like a negative way of thinking, but nowadays it's a lot easier to avoid that, knowing that at the end of the day, at least I get to eat a good, enjoyable meal. Yeah, so that's really all I had for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys got some value. I really appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me in the past couple of videos. I think I already talked about it, but I just wanted to shout it out again because honestly, I really didn't expect a single human being to see these videos, or much less anyone to like this video. So I appreciate you guys for watching. I have to run back to my room now so I can take a call, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.